everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night Meals with Manda. I'm just getting on a couple of other pages. So that's kind of what's happening right now. I am so glad that everyone is here tonight. I feel like I haven't saw y'all in a while. I guess I haven't. I kind of missed you. I've not missed cooking. I'm just going to be honest about it. But I have missed you all. So I'm glad that we're here tonight together. All right, so all that's done. So let's jump into it. Tonight is Meals with Manda. With me, Amanda. I'm your host this evening, and we're going to be talking comfort food. What is your comfort food? Food, especially in the South, I believe, plays a big role in how I cope, when I cope, and what I used to cope. My first drug was food. There's a reality for me. My first drug was food, so I find a lot of comfort in them. That can be both very good and not very good at the same time. Food is fuel for our body. It's how we get our energy. So it's a necessary thing. So tonight we're going to be making one of my favorite comfort foods. And if you haven't noticed yet, because I did this several times, I like pasta. Pasta is one of my comfort foods. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. I've got some shrimp. I've got some vegetables. I've got all that good stuff. And we're going to make some shrimp pasta. How about that? Just the FYI, we have a warm line. It is free. It is confidential. It is 24/7. What confidential means is it means when that person on the other end of the phone says, hey, can I have your name? Can I have where you're calling from? Can I have some of your information? You have the right to say, no, I'm good. And they will respect that. So that number is at the bottom of your screen. It is 833-390-7728. We also have Miss Kim at the front desk, and she really does enjoy hearing from each of you, how you're doing, how we're doing, and what needs that you're looking for. So give Miss Kim a call Monday through Friday between 8 and 4:30. Her number is 704-390-7709. Anytime you call PRN, our front desk is going to go straight to Miss Kim. So give her a little ring-a-ding, because we do love Miss Kim. All right, let's get up in it. I've got some water going. I have my surface turned on, and I've actually melted on this butter before I got on air, whatever this is, I don't know, before I got on live. So I've got butter and garlic here. Normally you'll see me chop garlic. Today we used spice grilled garlic. It don't matter who chopped it, y'all, as long as somebody did. So if you prefer to use it in a can, that is okay. If you like to do it by hand, I get that too. And that is okay also. I love garlic. There's just some days that I don't feel like getting messy with it. All right, so I got the butter, the garlic, all that good stuff hanging out here. It is warming up, starting to bubble a little bit. I'm about to grab my shrimp. They're right behind you in the sink. I'm going to throw them in here. I've seasoned my shrimp with salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, and oregano. Y'all, seasonings are the spice of life. Like, I'm telling you, you're going to change the things that you put in your mouth when you are able to start utilizing seasoning. There's my shrimp. So this is raw. This is peeled. I have peeled it. This is deveined. I have deveined it. But once again, it doesn't matter who peeled it or who deveined it. Do what you like. Do what feels best for you. I'm just going to be honest, y'all. Like, I have a thing about meat. I am very fearful about eating meat or giving meat to someone that is undercooked, especially seafood and chicken. I just have a lot of fear around that. So this is raw. Normally I would get pre-cooked, but this is what was on sale today, was raw shrimp. So that's what I got. And y'all, we're gonna work these spears out one shrimp at a time. And y'all are here with me to help along the way. So back to the question that started this whole offering tonight, whatever we're going to call it. What is your comfort food? When you need a little pick-me-up or maybe you need to wallow in your stuff for a minute. That's okay. I call that feeling, when I need to feel. What is a comfort food that you kind of turn to? I know that I hear a lot of people say things like mac and cheese or peanut butter and jelly. What is your comfort food? What's on the spoon, Deidre? This is a penguin. So, and it's a Christmas penguin. Little FYI. Ever since I can remember, we've had a tradition in my home where for Christmas every year, my mom would get my sister and I an ornament of some sort. My favorite thing is penguins. I don't know if you can see my little charm here. But my favorite penguin, so my mom always got me penguin ornaments. And so now I have enough penguin ornaments to have a whole tree of penguins. I kind of looked that way towards the tree because my tree is still up, y'all. Yeah, situation. So this was this year's Christmas present, in addition to an apron that I forgot to wear on Meals with Manda. So we might do Christmas in like March or something where I can wear my my apron with candy canes and stuff on it. So yeah, my sister's thing was always Barbie or Elvis. So all her ornaments are Barbie and Elvis, which is I think it's pretty cool that my mom did that for us. Even when I was incarcerated, she still kept up with that. When I came home from prison, I had Christmas gifts from the 5 years I was there. I had ornaments. I had all the things I would normally have or I've gotten on the outside. I had them when I came home. And I think that was really, I don't know. It touches my heart that my mom had that thought process. You know, I don't know how she couldn't have the thought process, right? But that just meant a lot to me to come home to all those years that I missed, and those memories were sitting there waiting for me. So that was pretty cool. And I'm obviously trying not to get emotional right now talking about it, but as you can tell, I'm already there. My famous last words. Y'all, if you hear me say things like I'm trying not to get emotional, the reality is it's already going to happen. I'm already getting emotional, and it is okay. Let's see. Dee Dee said they only mate. She's talking about penguins, so that like no one jumps on and thinks I'm just talking about mating. They only make once, and they only love one person. And I think that is so sweet. You know, they give the pebble and all those things. The male penguin carries the egg while mama goes out and does her thing, and I think that's beautiful. I don't know what started me with the penguin thing, but I know that it's my thing. Let's see. We're checking in. We got Erin checking in. What's up, Erin? Tonight we're doing comfort food. One of mine is pasta, so we're doing some shrimp pasta. There's some shrimpies going. Got my water boiling here. I got my veggies over here. We've got some squash, zucchini, green peppers, red onions, and I've got some frozen broccoli I'm going to grab out of the freezer. Because let me tell you something. If you got a choice to buy canned goods or frozen goods, because they're pretty similar in cost for serving sizes, definitely go with frozen goods. Oftentimes they are more nutritious than fresh produce. They don't have all that exterior stuff on the outside that sometimes fresh produce does. Erin, don't get on here acting a hot mess, please. All right, let me grab the broccoli, y'all, so we can get that going here, because it is frozen, so it's going to take a second longer. Bird's Eye is my favorite brand. I don't know why. It's my thing. Erin, are you talking about that? I'm trying not to get emotional thing. Yeah. Erin already knows what time it is when I say that, and he just kind of looks at me like, "Too late, Amanda." And it's the truth because I've already gotten emotional if I say that. You know, and I used to hate that I would cry over, you know, past memories and feelings and stuff like that. But today, it's not the same kind of tears that it was years ago when I was crying tears because I was still so hurt. Today, it's tears from being blessed from where I came from to where I've been able to come today. It's we're doing bow tie today, y'all. Bow tie noodles. Some of my favorites besides rigatoni. And I just look at tears as little reminders of how far I've came, where I came from, and where I'm going next. So if you're like me and you're a crier, it's okay. Let it out, y'all. When I was in treatment, they told me that tears were liquid Xanax. And it's not something that I really like got then, because I was like, these tears won't do nothing for me than them drugs could do. But as a person who has been in my recovery for a while and is, working that process and has been working that process, when I cry, when I can get those emotions out, no, I may not feel like I would feel if I were using substances to feel better, but I do feel something inside me that I can't explain. And it's almost like a newness. It's almost like when it rained after a lot of pollen and it washed that away. It's like it just gives me a little bit of hope that things are different and they're going to be different. So yeah, I was able to reframe that and to not feel so like terrible about crying. Because who wants to be a crybaby? Because I can get emotional real quick, y'all, real quick. And nobody wants to. I don't want to deal with it. None of the people I come in contact with every day want to deal with it. But when I changed the narrative about my emotions, man, it changed everything. It changed how people dealt with me when I was having my emotional reaction. It changed how they looked at me. It changed how they were able to communicate with me. It changed how they viewed my experience. They then started viewing me as a person who was working towards something better and not a person who was stuck in that place of not greatness. So yeah, it's just a different thing today. All right, onion, zucchini, squash, and broccoli in the pan here. I've got my green peppers over here. I want to add them a little bit later because, well, A, because I want to, and B, because they cook a little faster. And sometimes they can almost become too translucent. It can become too soft, and I don't like that. Vegetables that still have their crunch keep more of their nutrients than vegetables that are cooked down to a little softer. So just a heads up, just so FYI, y'all, this is looking pretty good up in here. Let me see if I can. Right, that's looking great. I love broccoli too, Erin. It's one of my favorites, that's for sure. In fact, when I was little, my parents would put me into beauty pageants. Don't come in the comments saying nothing about a beauty pageant or me in it. It happened. Maybe I'll share some pictures one day. But my parents would put me in beauty pageants because, I mean, who wouldn't? And one of the questions they would always ask little people, because I was a very young girl at this point in time, I don't know, probably like 4, 5, somewhere in there, 3. And one of the things I would ask you is, what's your favorite food? And all the other kids, broccoli, or all the other kids, mac and cheese, pizza, all those things that you expect from a kid. Mine was broccoli. I've always loved broccoli and cheese, plain broccoli, raw broccoli, steamed broccoli, sauteed broccoli. It didn't matter how it came. I just like broccoli. Okay. So we're gonna let this cook for just a minute. I'm gonna check in over here with y'all. And we're quiet. That's cool. Let's see. I'm just gonna jump on here, see what we got going on the YouTubage, see if anybody's hanging out with us. While we let this cook down, we're gonna let our noodles keep going. Our pasta, excuse me. You gotta be Italian with this, y'all. Your pasta. I was informed that tomato sauce is called gravy. Thank you, Anna Fiscus. I appreciate that. Is white sauce called gravy? I have questions. I got questions. So tonight we will be making a white sauce. Y'all, I like red sauce, or as Anna would call it, gravy. But that has a lot of acid in it. So if you have things like stomach ulcers or you get mouth ulcers pretty regularly, things like that, acidic foods are something that I would like to encourage you to stay away from. They also can cause things like contact dermatitis. If you have contact dermatitis, sometimes the acidity from tomatoes can be a problem. I had a friend who worked with me when I was waiting tables, and she had contact dermatitis on her hands, and cutting tomatoes would make it a whole issue. So if you have things like mouth ulcers or stomach ulcers, I really want to encourage you to kind of look at your diet excuse me, and to see, you know, where those acidic foods are, because they do affect our bodies. All right, we're letting this cook down. I'm going to go ahead and add some heavy whipping cream. Y'all, this stays in my refrigerator. And it can be used for so many different things, but I'm adding some heavy whipping cream. I'm just going to give this an old stir. And when this gets warmer, I'm probably going to add just a little pinch of flour. And I'm going to do that because I don't have any shaved Parmesan cheese tonight, which is what gives Alfredo sauce like consistency, that thickness. So we got to do what we got to do sometimes. So I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of flour, make sure that is good and stirred, because the last thing that I want is to take a bite of this when I get off here with y'all and get a clump of flour in my mouth. Been there, done that, and it was not delicious. So, but if you have Parmesan cheese, whether it's grated or the kind that you would like sprinkle over spaghetti as a kid, that's fine to use, and that's going to help thicken everything right up. This is another reason why it's really important to do those pre-seasonings, y'all, because when I pre-season things, that means when I do stuff like pour my sauce in, pour my heavy whipping cream, I don't have to add a lot of things because I did that in the interim. Those things have had time to cook. Those things have had time to let the flavors be cooked out and be more into the sauce. And so that is why pre-seasoning things is super important. Y'all, I can't do pasta without some garlic bread because I like bread. So I'm going to grab my pan, and it's right over here. So I'm going to grab my pan. I've already got my oven preheated to 425. I've got some garlic bread over here. Just the old Walmart brand, nothing special, nothing fancy. And it's still delicious. So I'm going to grab my pan and throw a couple of things on here. Aaron, tell me about these broccoli and eggs and grits, because I'm down. Like, I'm cool. I'll try it. But I've never had broccoli, eggs, and grits. One of the things that I do enjoy is eggs, grits, and salmon, eggs, grits, and shrimp. I like seafood. So if you're like me, you like seafood, you can probably relate to that. And that's one of my memories of my grandparents that I have growing up, is that my grandfather made the best shrimp and grits ever. Shout out Papa. And my granny would, my granny would make salmon and grits, which I had never had until that point, and it was obviously delicious because I came back for more. But never have I had the old broccoli and grits. Wipe my fingers off here. I'm going to get this going in the oven. And we're going to put our garlic bread back up. I've had this out for a while, so it's good and thawed. I'm actually not even going to put it back in the box. That way, so much refrigerator room. Hey, Roberta, how you doing tonight? Right there. I'm going to give everything a little stir. Our pasta is done. So we're going to take that off. We're going to drain some of it over here. Y'all, we've talked about this before. Save that pasta water. Save just a little bit of that pasta water. What I like to do is I like to drain from my pan. I just put my spatula over and drain. And there's just a little bit of water left at the bottom when I'm done. And that is enough for me to utilize in my sauce. I don't want it too much of it today because I guess I'm having to use flour to get this to be thicker. And I done messed up, so I'm gonna pull them 3 noodles that I just put in there out. And that's okay, because I need to throw flour in here. I can't mix with all that pasta in there. This is my flour. And I'm just gonna use my hands. This is my house, my food. I'm gonna use my hands. Unless you're coming over to eat. Y'all coming over? If so, I better make some more. Okay. And as I do this, I like to sip it through my fingers so that I heard I said she almost missed me. She said, girl, and that sounds good. I'm gonna sip it through my fingers so that I make sure that it's easier when I do go to stir, right? It's easier to break down. It's just like sipping it through a sifter. I mean, that's the purpose in that, is to make sure those clumps are out and it's easy to fold into and conform into your cooked goods, your baked goods, whatever you're doing. So here I am. Okay, perfect. Well, now I'm going to throw those pasta in there. But yeah, the pasta water is going to help give it a little extra, little something. And because I feel like it just needs some color, I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some pepper. Think about how much of this I would have had to do if I did it in pre-season. Hey, Miss Kim. I feel like I didn't get to see any of my PRN family today because I work within the recovery courts, and so this is my court week. And so when they had their weekly gathering today, I was in court. So I feel like I didn't get to see many of my peeps today. So I'm glad that y'all are hanging out with me tonight. I'm really ready to be off this camera, y'all, so that I can eat some of this. All right. So it looks like we're going to need something else to help us thicken this up a little bit. You can let it keep cooking, and that's going to help thicken it up. But it looks like we need a little something extra. Excuse me. So I'm going to add a little mozzarella cheese, and that'll help thicken things up. I'm just going to add the rest of my bag, actually, which is probably like 1/4 of a cup. I do recommend, continuing to stir here because this is going to be a little bit different than your Parmesan. It's going to get stringy like mozzarella cheese does. So you just want to keep stirring for a little bit. Y'all, this is looking delicious. And I'm ready for some food. It's been a long day. How about for y'all? And I still don't think that I'm done when I'm done here. And some days are just like that. I've learned to enjoy and to value and cherish the days that are long. Because there was a point in time that my long days looked a lot different than they do now, right? My long days included roll call counts and being handcuffed and shackled to go to outside appointments because I had back issues. Long days used to look like not being heard in medical when I had been there all day long complaining about my back issues and not being heard, and them sending me out with a walker. This is my real situation, my real life. And so today I value that voice and that choice. And so today, those hard days, while they're hard, yes, I will not negate from that. The reality is, and I say this every week, y'all, and there's no more truth in it than there's a lot of truth. Let me say that. The reality is that as bad as things were then, and sometimes as bad as they are today, as of today, I have made it through every worst day that I have ever had. Y'all better get you some of that power. I'm telling you, because that makes me feel powerful. That makes me feel like I've had the power to change my day. And I do. I do have the power to change my days. I have the power to change how I look at bad and good situations. And when I was able to change my mindset about situations, my whole life changed. no matter how good or how bad that situation was. Until I can flip it in my mind to be something positive for me, I stayed stuck, y'all. I stayed stuck. And being stuck is not a place that I wanted to be. So I had to do something different. And y'all who know me knows that I'm not, my method of recovery is not NA or AA. But NAAA was absolutely a cornerstone for the foundation of my recovery. And there's something that is on the Alcoholics Anonymous book, page 417, and it says acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I have a problem with something going on around me, a person, a place, a situation, a thing, it's because of me. Not because of them, that person, that place, that thing, that situation. It's because of me and my lack of acceptance. When I learn to accept things, man, my life is a lot smoother. It's a lot smoother, y'all. And while acceptance is very hard sometimes, and there are days that I think to myself, I will not accept this. I refuse. I have that right. Part of the serenity prayer is accept the things that I cannot change and change the things that I can. If I can't change it, I got to accept it. I may not have to accept it right then. I may not have to accept it in 10 years. But until I do, life is going to be just a little more rough for me personally. And that's just my experience. Oh, y'all pulled a Sharon on you. I got choked up and had to have some of that drink there. Made me feel like Sharon. Hey, Sharon, if you're watching, by the way, I do love you. All right, y'all. Looks like this pasta is doing its thing. It is done. I'm going to I've already turned that off. I'm going to check on my bread here. Now, if you're into red sauce, you can add a little bit of tomato paste to this and make this pink sauce instead, which is also delicious. I think I made that a couple weeks ago for us. Keep checking this because I like my bread a little toasted. So that's what I do. Anybody have any weird eating habits? Like, okay, so I'm gonna be honest with y'all. One of my weird eating habits is I take food apart. So what I mean with that is things like pizza, hamburgers, chicken sandwich, even pasta. I take apart and I eat all of one ingredient at one time. I don't know why I do this. I did this since I can remember. Pizza, I eat all the toppings first and then the bread. A burger, I eat the meat and then I eat the bread with whatever like toppings there were. Like if it's, a lettuce, tomato, onion, mayonnaise, ketchup, then I'm going to eat the lettuce, tomato, onion, mayonnaise, ketchup, and bread all together and the meat separately. Pasta, I'm going to probably eat out all the broccoli first, so that's my favorite. And I'm going to leave the shrimp for last because it's my second favorite. And I will probably center out one of these pieces of garlic bread and put my pasta in the middle of it. So you dissect too, Roberta. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. I don't even care what's going on in my food, if you want to be honest. I just like to dissect it. I like to take it apart. I like to enjoy each piece, each different part of it. And sometimes that can look a little strange, but that's okay. My parents used to always say, we don't know how you're going to date Amanda, because if you go out on a date, you're going to get stuff on your clothes because I'm a messy eater. And you don't know how to use utensils because I wouldn't use a fork back then. My daddy used to get on to me all the time. Amanda, use a fork. Amanda, use a fork. Amanda, use a fork. Dad, I'm eating French fries. Can I please use my fingers? And then I would dissect my food. So yeah, it's something I've always kind of like been a part of, dealt with, and still how I live my life. And guess what, Mom and Dad? I have dated, and nobody said nothing about me taking my food apart. They did, however, talk junk to me about wearing half of it on my shirt. So you were right there. All right, y'all. It is 5:30. We're just waiting on this garlic bread to finish up. We're going to plate this food. I'll let you see what's going on with it. And then you can check Jane out at 6 o'clock for expansions, which is always a good time. Jane is one of the PRN faves. We love Jane. Y'all love Jane. And so we're glad that we're glad she's going to be doing some expansions later. We got a plate, a bowl, something, and let's get this plate, okay? We're going to go with the bowl, I think. Okay. Get some of that broccoli up in there. Y'all already know I make enough so that I can have this again tomorrow, the next day, twice tomorrow, whatever. Whatever works out for me, right? Let me get that garlic bread out. Oh yeah, that's how I like mine. Put a little color to it. Perfect. Okay, y'all. Let me find the, there we go. All right, people. So here we are, the illustrious pasta based on what I had in my home. I didn't go to the store today. All these things were things that I had at home. The shrimp was on special when I bought it. Pasta is very, very, very cheap. Heavy whipping cream. I've been using that same thing of it for about 2 weeks now. Minced garlic and frozen or fresh vegetables, whatever floats your boat. Okay. I love you all equally, but the subject differently. I know that's right, Roberta. I feel the same way because I watch classes too. You probably see me participate in them as well. But I too love every facilitator we have, but each class has just a specific, like, it rings my heart a certain way. And it's almost like a parent's love for their kids. You got 2 kids, right? You love them both. And you love them both to the end of the world and back. At least this is what my mom and dad told me. I don't have kids, so I can't relate. But you love them to the end of the world and back. But you love them very differently. My mom loved my sister and I very differently. So that's kind of how I feel about classes too, is I love them all very differently. There are some that I love for the duration. There are some that I love for 15 minutes. There are some that, you know, I love every day. And there are some that I know that I really love when I'm going through some stuff, and I need that the most. So I appreciate everybody being here tonight, y'all. I'm glad that we got to spend some time together. Per normal, let me know what you're up to. Let me know what you're into, what you want to see. My friend Kara was supposed to get together with me last week and cook spaghetti squash. We did not. Obviously, there was a rerun that happened. So hopefully in the future we'll get that going too. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. If no one's told you today they love you, just know that I love you. And I look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday.